Please explain how the Republican proposal replacement for the ACA, sorry, that's my union, ACA will fulfill the Republican promise to cover all the less details only, please, for all the less. Okay, who?
I would like to interrupt you.
Yes.
No, I'm not going to use this.
Okay. How the Republican proposal to replace the ACA will fulfill the Republican promise to cover all or less. That's the.
I will give you my commitment, as I gave it to the people that put me in office. I will vote to repeal and replace Obamacare 100%. I will not waver on that. And Paul Ryan, we spoke to. In fact, I had a one-on-one call with him last week, and he has guaranteed me that we're going to have it done within 6 weeks. It'll be you can talk to me in 6 weeks about it. That we 100% repeal, and our goal, and this is bipartisan. How can y'all say that? You don't even know what I was going to say. It's bipartisan in the fact that everybody, Republicans and Democrats, want pre-existing conditions covered. Republicans and Democrats want children to stay on their parents' health plan until the age of 26. Republicans and Democrats want tort reform. They want pressure on the pharmacy companies to get pharmacies under control. Who out here has an EpiPen or ever bought one?
Yes.
I got this example for the EpiPen. How much you pay for it?
I'm lucky enough to go through the VA.
Who had to pay for one? How much was it? $620. $620 for an adult dose, right? I can buy a bottle of epinephrine, 90 doses, for $15. As a veterinarian, I can dispense it for your dog or your cat. And I can sell it for $20 and make $18.50. I told them they should use a veterinary. But the point is, there's no reason that drug should cost that much. That drug that they just approved, it's been approved. It's over in Europe for spina bifida, I think it, or muscular dystrophy. Costs $78 or $80 a month. This other company bought it. They're going to sell it here for $78,000 or $87,000. That's fraud. No, absolutely not. I will never support single payer. If you want that, move to a country that has that. And you already have it on Medicare, Medicaid, and VA. With the Affordable Care Act, it's not going to survive. You know, I meant to tell you guys something. Can I have a pause between questions?
How big a pause?
About 2 minutes.
Okay, how about a minute and a half?
Well, it depends. If people are quiet, I can get through it real quick. Our country, this is something everybody in here needs to know. And this is not Republican or Democrat. You guys have followed what's going on in Puerto Rico?
Yes.
There's 156 agencies in Puerto Rico, government agencies. Because of the debt problem they're cutting them back to 45 agencies. If you get a retirement check in Puerto Rico over $2,000, they're going to cut it to $2,000. This country, we're at 68% of the spending we do is mandatory. That's Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Interest. Are you hot? You need a fan?
No, I want you to do the next one.
No, she said I could have a minute and a half. And so, it's going to take me longer. It's going to take me longer. So, 68% of the spending we do in this country is Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, retirement programs for our VA, for our veterans, and for federal employees. The nutritional program, SNAP and things like that, that's mandatory. And there's $88 million going to save the wild horses out west. Mandatory spending. Things that are discretionary are military, Department of Education, Department of Health, Department of Justice. Everything that runs government is in the discretionary. Now that number on discretionary is 1.07. 68% mandatory today, 32% discretionary. In 5 to 10 years, 80% of what we spend as a nation is mandatory, 20% is discretionary. Now out of that discretionary spending, 1.07 trillion, 600 billion goes to the military. That leaves $400 billion to run every government program, every grant. If you're at the university, you get a grant. It comes from that. I got to start all over again.
Oh my God.
ACA.
All right.
ACA.
No, let me finish it. 5 to 6 years from today. This is a salient point. I want everybody to listen. 5 to 6 years from today, the interest on our debt as a nation, at today's interest rate, will equal, this nation will have to pay, the interest on our debt will equal what we're paying for our military. There is no money left. I was told at a conference I went to that Social Security is broken 12 years. There's going to be a 25% cut across the board for anybody getting a Social Security check. Does that bother anybody? It should bother everybody. It bothers me. This is what the underlying problem is. So when you go to the ACA, let's all work together to get this right. Because the Republicans didn't get us here. The Democrats didn't get us here.
But let me ask you.
And so,
let me get you back to this question though, and locally too, because
take a lap, Ron.
No, the figure that I got for the people in this district, in your district, there are 33,100 people who are now covered by ACA. And those people are going to have to deal with the changes that people in Washington don't even know. Right now they're undercover, right? People, there's a plan being
If you look at the reports, the people that have gone on to Medicaid came out of the private exchanges, 10 million of them, because they lost their insurance. They went over to the exchanges, and if you look at the results of Medicaid, Medicaid has one of the poorest outcomes of medicine in the industrialized world. 55,000, no, it was 80,000 people died in 2015 on the Medicaid exchanges over the previous years, and this is a report that comes from a bipartisan study committee. So that is not false. I got a slide if you want me to bore you with a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh my God.
That's okay. I tell you what, you guys have pretty well got your answer, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question.
Can I do a recap on that? Summary?
Okay, real quick, because I know we have so many questions that we've got to get through. Just a housekeeping item. If your question is asked, and Doctor, thank you so much for coming up here, and you want a follow-up, the congressman needed to research something and wanted to get back to you, please come up to the stage so I can get your phone number and your email, because I have no way to, there's no contact information on these. So please, if your question gets asked, come up so we can get your contact information. And then as far as questions from the audience, the Indivisible group, they worked over the last couple of weeks to pre-select folks to talk and ask questions from the audience. So for those of you in the audience who want a question or didn't have a chance to, please grab one of our team members so you can write your question down on a note card and get it up here. I hope that helps.
Thank you.
Okay, Carl.
Please give details of repeal and replace, that people will be able to continue coverage during replacement. People are scared and want answers. Congress needs to be publicly aware. Transparent. Okay, thank you. Sorry, who wrote this question?
Well, I'll guarantee you this. Again, our goal is not to have anybody lose health insurance. I'm a parent.
Okay, keep talking, keep talking.
The goal is to make a smooth transition, smoother than the transition getting on it. I'll tell you that. I lost my health insurance from it. My premiums went up. Why is that not an issue? You guys would say, oh, too bad for you.
Okay, guys, this is
No, I got the gold plan, and I have to pay over $12,000 a year on it, out of my pocket. The deductions went up and my coverage went down. I don't like it.
But you're rich. What's the replacement?
The replacement? I'm rich.
Okay.
I am rich because I'm living American, was born here. The replacement plan is do a transition. I already talked to you. Coverage for pre-existing conditions, allow children to stay on there to the age of 26. Competition amongst the states to increase the insurance people out there. Look at the competition now. There's 26 exchanges, they're down to 4. They're down to 4. Some states don't even have an insurance exchange. This is a failed policy, and it's not going to last. And the cost of it, if you remember the charts I just did, or do I need to do them again? The charts that we have, it's unsustainable.
Okay,
And then tort reform, health savings accounts, and there'll be coverage for anybody that doesn't have insurance, just like before 2009. People had coverage through community health clinics. They had coverage if they went to the hospital. I don't know anybody that was denied coverage.
Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is highly debatable, and one of the things too that I have a question about is, you know, giving tax rebates to people so they can buy their own insurance, but a lot of those people
I will
need
not
that.
give refundable tax rebates.
Well, then, these are people who don't have money to file for a tax refund.
There's the plan is what they're talking about is having a tax rebate that will go for that individual into an account for an insurance plan, but it won't go to the individual. I'm considering that. I don't like it because that's a government-run program. And my underlying philosophy, and for the people that put me in office know this, for you guys at the first meeting, you don't know this, I don't feel it's the right of the federal government to provide health insurance for me and my family. If I decided to be a responsible adult, I get insurance for me. I don't expect you, being a veteran, to pay for my health insurance if I'm able-bodied and can do it.
But if I'm sending someone to war, I will pay for theirs.
No, but you're pointing at me like you don't agree with me. I'm just saying I don't expect you to pay for my insurance. Wait a minute. And then, but for the people that can't pay for their insurance, they're elderly, they're disabled, and they can't. We've had a war on poverty for 50 years. We spent $20 billion.
We're losing.
Let's get people out of poverty, and that's what the Republicans think does. You know, somebody said, well, tax the rich. You can confiscate the wealth from all the rich people, and it wouldn't make a dent in our national debt.
Next question.